Welcome to the platform update for the Skillable platforms for February 2025. One of the things that we're doing a lot at the moment is a lot of infrastructure work. We want to bring a lot of user interface improvements to you during this year. Complete redesigns of things like the lab profile page and other bits and pieces. And these are really big pieces of work, but they're actually requiring a lot of infrastructure changes behind the scenes. So there's not maybe going to be so much as what you're used to seeing here, but trust me, as we get further through the year, early summer, you're really going to start to see the return on this activity here. So what things have we done during February? If you use our Skillable training management system, so our learning management platform, we did make a small update with respect to accessibility. 18 months, 2 years ago, we released the new student and instructor dashboards, and we discovered basically the student dashboard didn't work correctly from an accessibility point of view. On the right-hand side, for people that use this, there's a little calendar, and people can see what training they've got coming up, what training they've done, if it's in progress, that sort of stuff. And effectively, you couldn't use your keyboard to get over there. It only worked with the mouse. So that's been fixed. So that calendar control is now available via keyboard for those accessibility scenarios. So that was the update we made as far as the Skillable training management system is concerned. Skillable Insights, again, if you're not registered to use Skillable Insights, reach out to our customer support, reach out to your account exec, your customer success manager. It's our reporting platform for you to get whatever data you want. One of the things we've just recently released is an invoices tab. So this can be security control, so you can control who can see this or not, but it effectively allows you to see all of your historical invoices and download them. So a lot of customers, one of the things we have customer comments about is billing, historical billing, what am I spending now? All those sort of things are a bit of a challenge. Our solution is not perfect in this area by a long shot. And this is the first step down that road. So first of all, making the historical billing information available. We're then start to look at how we can make this more proactive for the current billing cycle in terms of what's being spent and so on. So if you do use Insights, you might have seen the new page come available. If you don't use Insights and you want access to this, say reach out to customer support, reach out to your CSM or account exec, and away you go. So effectively, there is a new page across the top. So you hopefully are familiar with dashboard and reports. There's now an invoices page. If you've got access to Insights, you can't see invoices, contact us because we'll need to enable it because as I say, it's permission based. Or if you've got it, then obviously you can see the documents. So pretty straightforward. You can expand them so you can sort of see the core areas that you've actually spent money in. And then, of course, you can download the itemized bill as well. Okay. So first step in improving our transparency from a billing point of view. So we released that in Insights. So hopefully some of you are using that. Some of you might find that valuable and you want to get access to it. So no problems at all there. The other thing is we're actually going to be releasing some new templates. Okay, so we revamped the template gallery last year. A lot of you will know that's sort of partly my responsibility. And we're actually releasing a couple of new templates, more likely going to be next week at some point. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Okay, so effectively, one of the invoice, the invoice tab has been released. So if you don't have access to it in Insights, then just reach out to support or reach out to your account exec or customer success manager and have a conversation with them because it is permission bound. Okay, so it's been released. Okay, so we are going to release a couple of new templates. So the first one we're going to release is a template based around what we're often referring as to a browser-based environment. So this will be the effectively the template that we will release. I've got some documentation to do with it, but other than that, it'll be in place. So when you clone it from the template gallery, this will be the template you would effectively have. And the idea is you can come in here, you can edit the profile, and you can set the URL that you would actually like the lab profile to launch. Okay, you can actually set that in here so that we load that page. Okay, then the idea is, your students can launch it, and it gives a locked down browser experience. Okay, so hopefully I have one that I've got running here. Okay, so this would basically be the experience the user would get. So they would get the login screen, they just click sign in, and hopefully it will sign them in. I don't know why. I did notice this earlier on. It's not picking up the URL change. So I've got a few people playing with this and they've broke it. But the idea would be they'd get a browser session and effectively they would be able to. I'm just going to just try something just very quickly. Okay. I'm going to give it a reboot. Okay. But basically, the idea is they get a browser session, they'll get taken straight to the homepage that they want. But they get all the features of a high-quality browser. This one's using Edge. We are going to be bringing a Chrome and a Firefox if we can get it locked down to the same way. If you wanted to do things like installing extensions and things like that, you can do all of those sorts of features as well. Okay, and there will be full documentation in here to actually sort of highlight how you configure it, how you optimize it, along those lines. Okay, and one of the key things, there would be a couple of things that we would recommend that you actually configure once you actually sort of publish it. So the first thing would be to update the system so that it doesn't show you the list of usernames here, because the last thing you want people doing is attempting to try and log in with the admin account. You only want them to log in with this one user account. The second thing would be either to hide the resources page completely, okay, or hide the password and username, and we'll give you the instructions on how to do that. But I just need to fix. I've had people playing with this, so I just need to fix why the web page not doing. I've got some developers doing a couple of platform improvements to make this a bit better, and they've been hacking about with it, so I need to fix that. So I apologize that it's not working. That caught me out earlier on today, so I was sort of expecting it not to work. But so that will become just a complete lockdown browser environment. Obviously, if the user messes up, they need to start again. They can just hit the end session, okay, and it will just then launch a clean environment for them, and all good, and so on. Okay, but as I said, I've just got to fix that little issue. So just wanted to sort of highlight that one. So that will be coming out pretty soon. Okay, make sure that it's all working nicely and perfect for you. The other template that we've actually got coming out, I won't launch this one, but I'll just mention this, is one for Terraform. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with Terraform. Terraform is a technology which allows you to do what's called infrastructure as code. And a lot of people like to use Terraform when you're talking to things like AWS, when you're talking to Azure, GCP, and so on. And one of the things we find with a lot of customers is, when we talk about them building cloud labs and we go to the cloud page, you can load your templates in here, but this has to be in what we call cloud native. So this has to be in ARM if it's Azure, or it has to be in CloudFormation if it's AWS. So what we're doing is giving users the ability to upload Terraform files. So a lot of companies have got Terraform files already they use, and there will be some modifications needed, but effectively what this will allow them to do is upload their Terraform files after they've made a couple of small modifications, and this will use Terraform to deploy into the cloud platform. Okay, so that would be the idea with this particular piece of technology. Okay. So that template will be getting pushed out pretty soon as well. So again, I've just got to do the documentation for that one, and then it will be ready to go. So just a little page on talking about the Terraform one as well. So basically easily to deploy resources into Azure, because we're going to do the Azure one first of all, see if it's of interest, for resources that you want to be deployed when a user starts a lab. Okay, so this might be you're teaching them how to use a particular application, and therefore you want to use a Terraform file to deploy all the resources for that app, and then you're going to connect the user to the application. Or it might be you actually want to teach Azure, and therefore you just want some pre-built Azure templates created and so on. Okay, so we'll be pushing both of those out in the coming week or so. The last thing is endpoints. So endpoints are actually going to be released in production on the 13th of March. And I know we're going to talk about them here and we're going to dig into them. So I'm not going to talk about the technology itself here. Okay. But the key thing with endpoints, okay, is it will be a customer enabled feature initially. So even though we're pushing them out on the 13th of March, okay, specific customers will need to be enabled to have endpoints turned on. So when you go into the platform, you will not see endpoints enabled, okay, unless it's been turned on for yourself. So please, if you're interested in endpoints, please put something in the chat. Okay, later on as we go through, you might go, actually, yeah, we really want to try this, and then I can make a note of people's names, and we can make sure that we get you enabled within the first few days of the technology being deployed to the Skillable platform. Okay, so deployment date 13th of March, and then if you want access, you can get access after that. You know, a chance are by the time we get to end of April, mid-May, it will be available for every customer. We just want to obviously get a few people using it to start with before we completely unleash it. Okay. Okay, no problems. I'll make a note of your name, Mason and Colin. We'll make sure we get you added to the list. Cool. Okay.